don't buy Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, and here's why. Hey everybody, my name is Milton. I'm your Dungeon Master, and today I'm going to be telling you guys a little story of a book, Amazon, and why you should not get this piece of garbage. Okay, so first, I recently came upon some money that I was given, and I thought to myself, hey, I'll buy some D&D books. So I looked at certain books that I've been wanting for a while. So what I got was Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes and Monsters of the Multiverse, which is a really cool book. It is filled with so many races and so many monsters, and it is wonderful. It is probably one of the best books that Wizards of the Coast has ever made. But there's a little catch. You see, Monsters of the Multiverse is already out there. It was already out before the book was even released. You could get everything in it a while ago. So, here's what I'm talking about. What I'm saying... Holy crap. What I'm saying is that everything that is in this book has already previously been in other books. So, if you're first getting started with Dungeons & Dragons, this book is perfect because you don't have to buy all the other books. But for those of us who've already bought other books, we buy this book, and there's all this stuff that we already have, and it's kind of annoying. So, for instance, we have Monsters of the Multiverse, and then we also have Volo's Guide to Monsters, which I bought only about, 3 months ago. And I love this book so much. It has helped me with so many campaigns, mostly because I'm impatient and I like starting new campaigns and I like making new worlds. But I love this book so much. When I first got it, it was the coolest thing I had ever read, and the amount of monsters in it was just amazing. And I have used this book so much. But for those of you who are new to Dungeons & Dragons or haven't really built up yet, if all you have so far is stuff like the Player's Handbook, the Monster Manual, and the Dungeon Master's Guide, and you haven't gotten around to buying these books yet, then don't buy them, because everything in this book and Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes are all inside Monsters of the Multiverse. And I just bought this and Mordenkainen's at the same time, and they both showed up one day apart, and I got this book first, and I opened it up, and I went through it, and I haven't read through the whole thing yet, which I typically do within the first day, but I've been really busy. But my brother, he went through, and it's amazing. All the new things, there are things from Out of the Abyss that are in here, and it's just so cool that they're in here. But he noticed that there are things from Volo's Guide, like the Cloud Giant, the Smiling One, and Cranium Rats are also in this, and stuff like the Duergar Hammerhead, which are all in Volo's. Then we went on a little trip to go look at some cars. But, of course, we ended up stopping for dinner, and we went to a little mall, and there was Barnes & Noble, and we saw Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. And I was like, oh, I can get a quick little preview of what I just purchased. And I went through, and a ton of the stuff that was in Monsters of the Multiverse was already in there. What is there? There's... literally everything. The Demogorgon is in both books. The Cadaver Collector is in both books. The Choker is in both books. The Balhanoth, of all things, is in both books. And that's just stupid. stupid. Why would you buy Volo's Guide to Monsters, Mordenkainen's Guide to the Multiverse, and Mordenkainen's Monsters of the Multiverse, and Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes if Volo's Guide and Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes have everything that are in all the monsters that are in Monsters of the Multiverse. So, I'm not saying that everything in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes is bad, okay? I like to make my own world. I like to be creative with what I do. But if you like to play in the Forgotten Realms and you like the lore that's already set in place and you love having stuff already written down and it makes life easier, which it does, then you might want to get Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. Because in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, unlike in Volo's, which seem to be completely polar opposites of each other, this book has a bunch of lore on elves and dwarves and other playable races, while Volo's Guide to Monsters seems to have a lot of lore on stuff like orcs and Yuan-Ti and other creatures like that, which is really good and all. It's really cool, but if you're like me and you like to build your own lore, then you just want all of the rules, and then you can build your world around that. Which is why I like Monsters of the Multiverse, because it gives you all of these. These are all playable races right here. This entire chunk from page number 5 to page number 36. While in Tome of Foes, you get lots of lore, but you only get 4 races and sub-races. That's it. You get 4. And in Volo's Guide, you get 9. You get 9 races. Only 9.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
But you get tons and tons and tons and tons of lore, which is awesome if you like that. So yeah. That's the upside. While in Monsters of the Multiverse, you get so many. You get so many different races. You even get ones that aren't in either of them. For instance, in this book, you get Aarakocra, you get Aasimar, which are, I believe, in Eberron. You get bugbears, you get centaurs. I don't know what book that's originally from. You get changelings, you get deep gnomes, you get Duergar, you get Eladrin, which are like extra fantasy elves. You get a playable fairy race. I've never seen this before. You get Furbolg, which you can also get in Volo's Guide. You get Genasi. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I say Genasi. I know people say Ganassi. It's preference. There are Gith Yankee or Gith. That's a playable race I've wanted to get my hands on for a long time. You got goblins, of course, because why wouldn't they be in there? Because they make their way into literally everything. You get Goliaths. You get Harengon, which are like rabbit folk. You have hobgoblins. You got more Kenkus. You have more kobolds. You have lizard folk. You have minotaurs. You have orcs. You have satyrs. You have sea elves. You literally have elves that can breathe underwater. Where did that come from? I have no clue. You have Shadar Kai, which are like elves of the Shadowfell, originally drawn to that dread realm by the Raven Queen. Over the centuries, some of them have continued to serve her, while others have ventured into the material plane to forge their own destinies. Once Shadar Kai were Fae like the rest of their elven kin. Now they exist in a state between life and death, thanks to being transformed by the Shadowfell's grim energy. Shadar Kai have ashen skin tones, and while they are in the Shadowfell, they also become wizened, reflecting the somber nature of that gloomy plane. Like other elves, Shadar Kai can live up to be around 750 years. That's a long time. Next, you have Shifters, which are in Volo's. And then you have Tabaxi, which are in Volo's. Then you have Turtle. I have been wanting to get my hands on this race for a long time because my friend Dean, who I've mentioned a couple times, he really likes turtles, and he made a turtle monk. I wanted to call him Oogway. We ended up calling him Toslin. He freaking kicked everything's butt, and my players decided to use him as a living weapon, and they would throw him at stuff because he was a desert turtle, and he had spikes on his back. Next, we have Tritons. And then we have UNT, and then we get to the bestiary, which is just, it's just amazing. There's so many things, but I'm still a little pissed because everything that's on here is in all of these books. It's in all of them, all three. If you take Volo's Guide and Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, you get Monsters of the Multiverse. These two, one book. So, if you are planning on buying this book or this book, don't get this book. It's a cheaper way to do it. It will get you more than out of these two. I personally went through all of the creatures in both of these, and all of them are in here. Every single one. I promise. And then you get so many playable races. Now, of course, if you like I said earlier, if you like the lore, then go ahead. Get this one, and just don't get this one. But you will be missing out on some playable races that are in other stuff that I don't know what it's in yet. So yeah. Those are my thoughts. That is why you should not get Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, and I guess this is technically also a video on why not to get Volo's Guide to Monsters, because both of them together makes this singular book, and buying both of them is more expensive than buying one of them. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am going to be making sword videos soon, and leave your comments below on if you agree with me, if it is not worth it to get Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. Tell me if you haven't gotten this book yet, because if so, you need to get it. It is amazing. There are so many things in there that I've never seen them before, and their stats are so good, and I am so excited to throw them at my party in the future. And I've had Volos for a while. I love this book. It has helped me through so many situations. I even have a frog Hemoth miniature, which I got after my friend Dean, again, man, he threw this at a group that he DMs that I'm a part of. He threw this at us because I was bothering him about not being able to have a combat session. So he threw this at us, and we totally destroyed it. But, and then I got Volo. I was like, hey, why isn't there a brown version of this? So I painted a brown frog Hemoth. I don't think I made that into a video. So yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. Hope to see you guys in the next one, and get out there and have a good week.